The birds are back in town. What's up, fellas, lady fellas? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, we got a brand new archetype. Just straight up archetype that's brand new, which is actually pretty dope to see. And it's kind of like Thunder Dragons. So the way Thunder Dragons worked was we had an original monster, Thunder Dragon, and they made pretty much 10 new cards that had just turned the one original card into an entire archetype. And that's kind of what we're seeing here for Simorgh. There were a couple versions of Simorgh, but Dark Simorgh really being the only one that ever really saw its time in the limelight. So, I'm getting a call from Chris. You've seen him on the channel. Anyway, I'll talk to him in a second. All right, but at least for this, we've got a new archetype, Simorgh stuff. Is 10 new cards, so I'm going to try and go through it pretty quick. All right, first things first. Before I go into the four main monsters, they have one for every level, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for those normal summonable monsters. They have the same exact second effect. The second effect says, if your opponent controls no cards in their spell and trap zones, and that card is in your graveyard, you can activate the effect. You can special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for winged beast monsters. Immediately after that, special summon that bird back in defense position, but banish it if it leaves the field. If it didn't banish it after it left the field, like, cards are too broken. I think I can literally just like bring 4 back every turn. Too busted. They need to banish themselves. Great. All right. Now that we know that, they have great recurability as long as your opponent has no spell and trap cards in their zones. All right, the first one here is Simorgh, Bird of Beginnings. Well, Simorgh, Bird of Beginnings. 0 attack, 1600 defense. They're all, well, not all of them are win, but you'll see. Level 1 win, Winged Beast. Both effects are hard ones per turns, but you can activate both in the same turn, which is important. When this card is normal summon, you can activate this effect. During this turn's main phase, you can normal summon, not set, one Simorgh monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So essentially, this just gives you an extra normal summon. It's kind of like a Mufui, whatever it's called, from Madolches, but this one lets you do the normal summon at any point for the rest of the turn. As long as you resolve like the normal summon, you get that for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field, I believe. Whereas Mufui, whatever, had to normal summon right then and there. This does give you a little more flexibility, and 1600 isn't terrible for a level 1 monster. Right there. All right, then the second one we have Simorgh, Bird of Summoning. It's obviously same second effect, level 2 this time. 1000 for stats. It's level 2. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Simorgh card from your deck to your hand, except for itself. That's pretty awesome. It adds any Simorgh card, so we're getting our Candina, or what, Surziel. I don't want to call it Stratos, because Stratos Ursus are normal or special summon. But yeah, this is a pretty important card. This is a really nice consistency card. Yeah, we ain't complaining. Then we have Simorgh, Bird of Endings, level 3 wind, 1500 attack, 200 defense. Both hard ones per turn, same recursion effect. Don't sleep on that effect. I know I just said at the beginning, but do not sleep on that effect. That effect is what makes these cards not terrible. Imagine if it didn't have that effect, all these cards are garbage, like literally. So it's a very, very important piece to the strategy. When this card is normal summoned, you can send any Simorgh card from your deck to the graveyard, so a quick little foolish burial. That's awesome. These are very, very like classic, like decent pieces, especially the search and especially the dump. Obviously, like the extra normal summon is nice. It's a nice extender, but it's not really a starter, but it's still a nice piece, and I love its design. It's super cute. And then the last low level one is Simorgh, Bird of Protection. Level 4 wind, 1400 attack, 1000 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one card in your opponent's spell and trap zone and return it to the hand. So I felt like a card like this was really important. I just don't think it's good enough. I was like kind of bummed. If this card just said like on normal summon, target one card in your opponent's spell trap and destroy it, then we're cooking. We're cooking hard. But because it doesn't destroy, not enough. I mean, like, you still maybe play this as like a one of or something, just if it's like because it's searchable or whatever, and you need to like clear, because like you're gonna, because of this strategy and because all your opponent has to do is put one card in their spell and trap zones to make your dudes dead and grave. There are going to be decks that don't really do that, the non-backer decks, but they may just like say like, I have a draw card. I'm playing Orcus and I have like Allure of Darkness, but I have the cards in hand to do what I want, I'm just going to set a Lure of Darkness just to say you can't special them back on your turn. And this is where this is important. Just says, fuck you. Like, you try to do this, like, it ain't going to work. I'm going to do my plays this turn. But because it doesn't destroy, it just kind of bounces back. It's just like it's just for one turn, and then they just do it again. So it's okay. It's just not good enough for me. Then we move into the boss monsters here. We have Simorgh, Lord of the Storm, a level 8 wing beast, so a boss. 2,900, 2,000 for the stats. Pretty beefy. Its second and third effects are hard once per turns. First effect says, this tribute summon card cannot be targeted by an opponent's spell or trap card effect. That's pretty nice. I mean, we look at like Striker being a relevant deck, and even if Striker gets hit, we've seen the OCG that had hit so much, and they're still playable. They're not the best deck by far, but they are still playable. We can see cards like that. This card can't be manhunted when Manhunt becomes like a very popular card for control decks and stuff, which is nice. It's a nice protection. It's not crazy, but it's a nice little protection. Second effect says when a spell or trap card is activated and then quick effect, you can tribute any wind-wing beast monster, then target one card your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck. So this doesn't stop your opponent from doing their thing, it just punishes them for doing it. It's a face-up card, so it's not like it's set. So I think it's like decent. I don't think it's amazing. It's definitely going to put some cards in some decks in like a huge bind, because they're like, I have to activate the spell, but I already have a monster on board. So if I do this, I literally just lose my shit. It's okay. It's not amazing. Or it's okay. And then the last effect says, when a wind beast monster you control is destroyed by battle and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. That's a nice little effect as well, because if your opponent outs this card and gets it in a grave, you probably are just going to be in a situation where you might be just trying to defend yourself with the little ones. And your opponent, a lot of people may not know what this does, or forget, or just suck it up anyway and attack into him just to get recursion. It still has to be tribute summoned, so that's like kind of meh, but like it's not bad. It's a decent little recursion effect. If it's special summoned, then it'd be riled, because then even if they out this, they can't out your little ones by battle. They can't out a winged beast by battle, because they just know like they're gonna get punished for it. That would be spicy. That would immediately make this card like way better to me if it just came right back to the field, because you load it back into the hand, but it's still at 2 tribute, so it's okay. It's an okay. I like this one a little better, but it's still not amazing. Darkness Simorgh, a level 8 dark, 2,900 attack, 2,000 defense. Its first and third effects are hard once per turn, same as him, except for his was 2 and 3. This is first and third. First effect says, if you tribute summon a dark or wind monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there once you summoned, or hand even if not, which is really, really awesome. I like that it can be special from either, so if you do hard draw this and you're kind of bummed because it's a brick, you do have a way to drop it out. Same thing with like Darkest Diabolos, has like kind of the same clause there. We're drawing it. You don't necessarily want to open Diabolos ever in like Lair, or I guess now Thunder Dragons, but you do still have ways to get it out, especially in Lair, just by tributing a dark monster at any point, which is cool. And just awesome recursion. Second effect, this card's attribute is also treated as wind while in the main monster zone. Oh, in the monster zone, period. It's only going to be in the main, whatever. Cool. And then when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute one winged beast monster to negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. That's pretty decent. The other one, like I said, it doesn't stop your opponent, it just kind of punishes them. And this one actually stops them. Straight up, any spell or trap on activation, negate, except for I guess like a counter trap, but this is pretty good. I think this one's better, definitely better of the two, because it specials itself much easier, but you do still have to tribute summon to trigger him. We'll see. We don't even know if this is all the support. We're still looking at some spice, so. But I do like him a little more. Negate spells and traps. Doesn't have the protection, but he does recur himself quicker. All right, then we're moving to some spells. So we have the field spell here, which is called Elbor's Sacred Peak of Simorgh. And second and third effects are hard once per turn. The first effect says, Winged Beast monsters on the field gain 300. Not bad. I mean, none of them are. I wish the smaller ones were a little bigger. I mean, it makes him 17, which is not great. 18, which is beater-ish. Doesn't even matter to him. Makes him 13, 13. It makes the small one 1900. So, like, it helps a little bit in maybe specific situations. The bigger thing is when you make your boss monsters like 3200, so you can get over 3000 monsters. Borolog, Borosword, that kind of thing. You can reveal one level 5 or higher wind wing beast monster from your hand. Wait. Oh, that's interesting. So level 5 or higher wind wing beast. This guy is only wind while he's in the monster zone, so you can't reveal him, right? Yeah, because he's not wind. Oh, interesting. From your hand, for the rest of this turn, you can normal summon wind beast monsters with one less tribute. That is actually interesting, though, because that does open the door for playing cards like what is it? Elector Sovereignty of the Birds or whatever his name is. He's like a level 6 wind wing beast, and he's actually a decent like card. He's like 2400 and he can like negate a card's effect. Whatever. It's not crazy, but one less tribute, he's one tribute. So you literally can just normal summon a 2400 like beat stick just by revealing him in the hand, which is actually decent. Not terrible. I don't know, something to keep in mind. And we also don't know if this is all the support, if we're going to get a couple more cards. Then the third effect says if you control a wing beast monster, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one wing beast monster. This counts as an additional normal summon. So this plus like Elector, Sovereign of Birds, you could literally like normal summon one of your other guys and then just activate this, reveal him, so you can normal summon him for one less tribute, and then just normal summon him again. That's actually not terrible, actually. Huh, that's pretty interesting. And also it makes these guys only one tribute instead of 2, and you get the additional normal summon that turn. So, kind of spicy? I don't know. You tell me. Then we have another spell card called Simorgh Arrival, a normal spell. You can only activate one per turn. It says discard one winged beast monster to add 2 Simorgh monsters with different attributes from your deck to your hand. That's pretty spicy. Different attributes. So the only Simorgh monster that's different attributes is dark. So you have to have him or actual dark Simorgh. I wonder if actual dark Simorgh is actually playable in this deck. I'm assuming it is because like they made Thunder Dragon actually playable. It assumes because I think Dark Simorgh had to banish like a wind and a dark or something from grave. Something like that. That's not bad. I mean, you're trading a 2 for 2, so you're not minusing, and it is a targeted search because you can search one of the smaller ones. Not bad, okay. And then also you can banish this card from your graveyard to reveal one winged beast monster from your hand, and if you do for the rest of this turn, any monster with that revealed monster's name in your hand loses 1 level. That's interesting as well. The problem here is that you lower their level by 1, and they're not 7, so they don't go from 7 to 6 and become a 1 tribute. They go from 8 to 7 and still be a 2 tribute. So maybe we're going to get more support. Maybe we'll get like a level 7 or a level 5. Lower level 5 down to level 4, and then it's normal summonable. I don't know. Something to think about. We also have Simorgh Rejection, a normal spell. Hard once per turn. Discard one winged beast monster. Return all cards in your opponent's spell trap card to the hand. They kind of had to have a card like this. If you're going second, you need a way to just clear that back row to make those revival effects live, because you need to get off that little combo and then try to control the board from there. Also, you can banish this card from your graveyard, reveal one winged beast monster from your hand. If you do for the rest of this turn, any monster with that revealed monster's name in your hand loses 1 level. So is that like the goal is like to get both of these engraved, use them both to lower one of these guys down 2 levels to make them level 6, and then you use the field spell to make them 1 less tribute, so you can just normal summon them for free? Maybe that's the goal. It's just to resolve all 3 of these in the same thing, but that seems a little too optimistic. Our last card here is Simorgh Stormfront. It's a continuous trap. Floodgate? Probably not. You can activate the second effect of this card only once per turn. One winged beast monsters you control with less attack than the winged beast monster you control with the highest attack cannot be targeted for attacks or by opponent's card effects. That's pretty good protection. So it protects all of the smaller ones. So if you end up making a board with like one of the boss monsters and a bunch of the little ones can't be targeted by attacks or card effects. So even if your opponent can't get through the big guy, they can't just kind of like pick at your board by hitting the other ones, which is pretty nice. That's a nice little protection. Second effect says you can send to the graveyard both this card you control and 2 Simorgh monsters you control. 3 cards whose original level are 7 or higher and whose original attributes are different. Okay, so it's trying to get you to send the dark one with a win one. To return to the hand as many cards on the field as possible, and if you do, take 500 damage for each return card, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. This card is really high risk, high reward. I mean, obviously you're paying 3 cards, that's the high risk. But it is a quick effect, so you can just do this on your opponent's turn as a huge disruption. And keep in mind, we do have a good amount of just decks that just plop extra deck boards. We see Thunder Dragons. If your Thunder Dragon player just ended with like 3 Thunder Dragons and like Saryuja, and you just like flip this, maybe you bounce your Simorghs, but your Simorghs are all Maniac monsters. You're still getting those back to the hand. They just lose their entire board. And then you will take some damage. You'll take the same amount of damage, so nothing crazy, but this is an interesting card. I think the protection is okay, and it's searchable, so maybe sometimes you search it just to get that protection, but the second effect is interesting as well. Against the right deck, it could be a blowout, because you may be able to just do your combo again next turn, but bouncing all their stuff could be literally like game for them. They may not have as resources in hand to replenish that. You see what I'm saying. Pretty spicy though. Overall, I think this deck has some potential. I don't know about meta stuff. I think it's definitely fun and definitely very cool in what it does. Really new kind of archetype and definitely very unique in the way it wants to play. But I'm really excited for these cards. I love Winged Beasts. I always love birds. I don't know why. I just think they're cool. I just think flight is so cool, and these birds look awesome. So I really can't wait to see if we get any more stuff, and even if not, I'm really curious to see what this deck is capable of. But guys, let me know what you think of all these new cards down below. Don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more new stuff from me in the future, subscribe to the channel as per usual, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace on out.